Greetings. Welcome to Biozone 2020. My name is Rahul Pillai and I'm a third year biotechnology student. The theme for this year's Biozone is vaccines. Today, I'll be speaking about the first vaccine that was discovered. It is the smallpox vaccine. Before we move on to the details regarding the smallpox vaccine, let's have a glance at the outline of this entire session. We will first begin with the introduction, which will involve the details regarding the disease, followed by history of vaccine, the general classification of vaccine and specific types of smallpox vaccine. We will then discuss how exactly is the vaccine administered, and on administration, how does it confer immunity. We will also discuss bioterrorism related to the disease, and lastly, we will look at the sources of the information that have been used for this session. Let's begin with the introduction. Smallpox is a viral disease caused by the variola virus. Variola virus belongs to the Poxviridae family and orthopox virus genus. There are two strains of variola virus, namely variola major and variola minor. Variola minor has a mortality rate of less than 1%. However, variola major has a mortality rate of 30%, meaning 3 out of 10 people who contracted the disease died. This strain was the primary reason for the outbreaks that have occurred throughout the history. Let's look at the structure of variola virus. What you see in this picture is an electron micrograph of the variola virus. Its size is approximately 200 nanometer to 300 nanometer and it is roughly elliptical. This second image is an artistic rendering of the virus depicting the two envelopes, the outer envelope and the core envelope. DNA is double-stranded and bound by nucleoprotein complex forming a dumbbell-shaped core. Let us now understand the transmission, symptoms, and treatment available for smallpox. Smallpox is a highly contagious disease that spreads via person-to-person contact, fomites, etc. Symptoms include fever, body rashes, and pustular scabs. Treatment includes vaccination, provided it is taken within 7 days of onset of symptoms, and antiviral drugs such as tecovirimat, cidofovir, which are especially designed for smallpox, is also available. We will now look at the outbreaks that have occurred so far. Many outbreaks have occurred throughout the past few centuries. However, the exact origin of smallpox is still unknown. Smallpox is thought to date back to the Egyptian Empire around the 3rd century based on the smallpox-like rashes found on 3 mummies. The earliest written description of a disease that resembles smallpox appeared in China in the 4th century. Smallpox was introduced in Japan in the 6th century due to trade relations with China and Korea. Initial reports also appeared in India in the 7th century. The Crusades introduced smallpox in Europe in the 11th century, while the African slave trade and European colonization laid seeds of smallpox in America in the 16th century. Great Britain introduced smallpox in Australia in the 18th century. Eventually, smallpox spread throughout the globe, affecting a large number of people through different centuries. Moving on to the history of the vaccine. It was Edward Jenner in the year 1798 who observed that the milkmaids who had suffered from cowpox were resistant to smallpox. As a physician, this intrigued him. Hence, he conducted an experiment on an 8-year-old boy by variolating him with cowpox fluid pus. After some days, he inoculated him with smallpox virus. To his surprise, the boy had developed resistance to smallpox. This method turned out to be highly effective and was subsequently practiced in different kingdoms and countries across the world. The Latin term for cow is vacca and cowpox is vaccinia. Hence, he named the procedure as vaccination. In the year 1961, The bifurcated needle was developed as a more efficient and cost-effective alternative. This was the primary instrument which was used during the eradication campaign from the year 1966 to 1977. Vaccines are in general classified into four categories: the live attenuated vaccine, inactivated vaccine, vaccine containing a subunit or polysaccharide component of the organism or recombinant vaccine, and toxoid vaccine. Among these, the smallpox vaccine belongs to the live attenuated category. The following are the three major vaccines that have been widely studied. Three vaccines are Dryvax, ACAM2000, and Imvamune. Among these three, Dryvax was used in the global eradication campaign from 1966 to 1977. All the three vaccines are based on vaccinia virus. Dryvax was cultured in the skin of calves, while ACAM2000 is cultured in vero cells, that is, kidney epithelial cells of African green monkeys. Imvamune is cultured in chicken embryo fibroblast cells placed in a serum-free medium. Dryvax was manufactured by Yeth Laboratories, while ACAM2000 was manufactured by Sanofi Pasteur. On the other hand, Bavarian Nordic manufactures Imvamune. Soon after the global eradication of smallpox in the year 1978, manufacturing of Dryvax vaccine was terminated. ACAM2000 and Imvamune have recently received FDA approval for mass manufacturing in case of an unnatural outbreak. Let us now understand the mode of administration of the vaccine. The vaccine kit has three major components: a vial, which consists of lyophilized vaccinia virus, a syringe, which is used to add the diluent and reconstitute the vaccine, and a bifurcated needle, which has two prongs to hold the vaccine dose and puncture the skin to deliver the vaccine. The images shown here are the prongs of the needle before and after loading it with the vaccine. The vaccine is administered on the upper left arm by continuous puncturing of the skin 3 to 7 times. After vaccination, the site is covered with a gauze pad to protect it from pathogenic infection and prevent transmission of vaccinia virus to other individuals. The site eventually forms a blister and scabs off. Let us now see how the vaccine provides immunity by understanding its mode of action. Immunization with smallpox vaccine elicits a cascading network of integrated immune pathways. 4 types of responses are observed, which include cutaneous response, cytokine response, cellular response, and humoral response. Let us see each of them in detail. Beginning with the cutaneous response. After successful primary vaccination, a pock forms at the vaccine site 3 to 4 days post-vaccination. This pox then forms a vesicle and pustulates. The pock reaches maximum size 8 to 12 days post-vaccination and scabs off. A lack of viremia after vaccination has been reported, suggesting that the infection remains localized to the site of vaccination. The cytokine response to smallpox vaccine begins shortly after primary vaccination. A strong inflammatory response occurs with elevated serum levels of interferon gamma, tumor necrosis factor alpha, interleukin 1, and interleukin 6. Interferon gamma serum levels peak 8 to 9 days post-vaccination. T-cell responses are primarily responsible for containing the vaccinia virus infection in a naive host after vaccination. Vaccinia virus-specific T-cells are detected in humans by day 7 after primary vaccination and peak at day 14 post-vaccination. Strong CD4+ and CD8+ T-cell responses peak and then contract to form a stable memory population. Vaccinia virus-specific T-cell responses slowly wane over decades but appear to retain the ability to respond for up to 50 years. H3L protein is a viral receptor involved in cell adhesion and is the first known target of neutralizing antibodies. B cells secrete antibodies that agglutinate, opsonize, and neutralize viral particle and allow antibody-dependent cell cytotoxicity, abbreviated as ADCC. IgG and IgM antibodies appear within 4 to 10 days post-vaccination. Antibody responses initially decline in the first year after vaccination, followed by maintenance of long-term stable levels for 50 years or longer. Let's look at the contraindications of the vaccine. The smallpox vaccine is not advisable for immunodeficient or immunocompromised patients and patients with cancer. Side effects include allergic reaction in case of people having skin allergy. Rare side effects include post-vaccinal encephalitis, which is inflammation of brain, eczema vaccinatum, which is serious rash by widespread of skin infection, myocarditis, that is inflammation of heart muscle, pericarditis, inflammation of lining of heart, or myopericarditis, a combination of both. Owing to successful eradication of naturally occurring smallpox in the year 1978, the commercial production of smallpox vaccine has been terminated. However, it is possible that the variola virus could be used in a biological attack. A physical stockpile of vaccines held by WHO from the final years of eradication program are regularly tested for potency. A pledged stockpile is held by donor countries like France, Germany, Japan, New Zealand, and United States for use in time of international need upon request by WHO. The last officially acknowledged stocks of variola are held by the United States at Center for Disease Control and Prevention and by Russia at the State Research Center of Virology and Biotechnology, while the remaining variola virus samples were destroyed. These are the references that have been used to collect the appropriate information. Last but not the least, I thank each and every one of you for being all ears and watchful. Thank you.